I think we're live. I'll just wait a couple seconds. We are. Okay. Hi, tribe. Good morning. How are you all? We're officially in the mid-year point, the halfway mark of 2020. And wow, what a year it has shaped up to be, right? And I don't think anyone could have scripted this or predicted what was to come. This is a year that has been filled with unexpected, so much unexpected, and also required a lot of surrender and trust from us as we learn to flow with what life has asked of us and adapt to changing circumstances. So if you're on, say hi so I know you're here. But I wanted to come on now because this is the perfect time to really reflect and see where we're at and what's required of us, especially as we're navigating through the solar eclipse. We're in the middle of that season at the moment. And if you're someone with sensitive energy, you may have felt at points the heavy kind of feeling that keeps rising out of 2020. And you might be finding there's a lot to navigate within yourself and around your environment, okay? So it's natural and normal if you feel you need to take a lot of space right now for yourself and through this year in order to process the intensity of what's folding around us. I want you to know that. And I know it's easy to feel that this year has not been good to us and that things have gone wrong and not according to plan. For me, it has done the opposite. So I don't say this to rub this in, but my hope is you discover it's not actually the case, and that's why I'm telling you. So for me, and I think I need you to know that this is shaping up to be a profound year of transformation for us, individually and for us collectively, as well as the planet, okay? So it's becoming clear that nothing will ever be the same. Nothing will ever be like it was previously, and it's not meant to be. We're on a radical change ride, and we have no choice but to strap on our seatbelts and make the best of it. Okay, so while 2020 may not, but may feel like it's filled with darkness, chaos, and challenge, it's actually a very light year energetically. And because it's a light, high vibration year, all that is not in alignment with that frequency is being activated, it's being illuminated and brought to the surface. So you may see this happen within you, and it's definitely happening around us, right? But anything that was hidden, lingering, unresolved, and not healed and faced have come up right to the forefront. And this is what we need to actually address. And so as a result, we're in a profound time of collective healing. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, okay? And whether we like it or not, we're meant to be embarking on this journey of deep healing. And I know for many years I've been on this kind of journey, but it goes deeper. And so even though you may not have signed up for this is what we're being asked to do. Many of us thought that new beginnings this year, right? So the start of the decade, new beginnings. But what I've recently been learning, this is actually a completion year. And now I know it might feel like we've been in the completion phase for a while now, but several astrologists and people I've been following have said that the new decade that we've all been expecting to begin this year is actually set to begin in 2021. And that 2020 is the end of the previous decade. So I don't know if that's true, but for me personally, I haven't felt that to be the case, but for many of you guys, you may have. And I did some Googling and research on this, and there's a bit of a mixed opinion around it. So whether it's true or not, I'm not 100% with it, but what I want you to do is to really feel into it intuitively for you, right? So has this year felt like it's held the energy of completion or new beginnings for you so far? So let me know. So if you're coming on later, if you're not on now, I want to hear from you in the comments, okay? So there may be aspects of both. So there's the transition between completion and new beginnings. So there's almost like preparation for new beginnings, but it hasn't fully come in at the level that we were expecting this year to bring with it. And many of the events I had planned this year to Elevate haven't really happened due to what's happened around us, right? And so what I want you to do is just wipe out what everyone's saying, and I want you to pass this through the filter of your own intuition and take what is actually resonating with you. So let me ask you this. Has the theme of healing flowed through your life in the last 6 months? So has the theme of healing flowed through your life in the last 6 months, especially over the last 2 to 3 months? So let me know. And I know when we talk about being on a healing journey, it can feel kind of heavy, right? But actually it's not a step backward. What is rising in you does not mean you are going to go back in any kind of way. This is all unfolding to help propel us forward. This is what's needed to be here. And it's all unfolding to help us get free. So each of us in our heart and our souls are ready for more. And many of us have actually asked for more. Many of us felt that we came into 2020, our dreams have expanded, and we've said, yes, this is the year, I'm going to do this and this, I'm going to make it happen. This is the year that everything just grows. So my thing for me this year has been elevate, right? And I can honestly say through my own personal healing, and it's because I did deep healing that everything elevated. So when I began my year in Spain, that's what it had been for me, but that was what was required. It required me to go in and do deep healing. And many of you have commented on how on fire I've been this whole year, and that I'm contributing to my own personal healing. So life has heard us on that. Our desires have not been fallen on deaf ears. All that's happening now is that we are in a clearing, a shedding, a releasing to let go of, up until now that's been blocking us. So you are worthy, you are deserving to have all that you desire, and it's bigger than that. You are destined for all that you desire, and we're all undergoing a transformation right now in one way or another to become the person who is ready to receive that. Does this make sense to you? So just let me know in the comments whether you're watching me now or later. Hi Tash, honey. Yes, awesome. This is what's coming up, right? So if we want to create a big external change, we must undergo a big inner change. And that's what this year has been about. It's a year of transformation. The type of healing we're moving into now is deep, but it's deeper than we've ever been. So we're being asked to get to the root cause and no longer skim the surface. We're being asked to look within ourselves and heal right down to the level of where our deeper core wounds and our story resides. And there's always deeper layers that surround that, right? So those of you who have done the EAP and your story, the work doesn't stop. It's not like, oh, I know it now. You're uncovering deeper layers around it, okay? And so this is why we have the other levels to move into. Yeah. So this is not changing the surface appearance of it. It's not trimming the flowers or the plants. Deep down, the unconscious mind, nothing would have changed if you just do that. So if you truly want to see the change, what's blossoming in your garden or what you're manifesting in your life, you need to get right down to the root and nurture that from the root. We're in a place where we need to face everything that we've been avoiding. And when we intimately and deeply meet that which we've avoided, this is where the deep healing and transformation happens. Skimming the surface, pushing it to the side, that doesn't work because life gets our attention through patterns that keep playing out in our life. Okay? You can't just do self-love and expect it to transform. It doesn't work like that. This is big work. And it's all happening this year because you're ready for it. You're ready to be free. So, okay, so first of all, how do we know there is something there that needs to be healed? Because sometimes we're not even aware of it, right? So on my call last Wednesday with the group, we brought all of that to the surface, and we had a couple of people in there that saw their betrayal wounds. They saw some rejection wounds, some trust wounds playing out, and their own pattern in how that keeps coming up and how they're relating to it. And so this is really important, you needing to know it. So it's become fairly obvious this year. I think it's safe to say that it's kind of forced us to see it. It's come in the form of triggers. So let me know if there's triggers coming up for you. Essentially, triggers is what's unresolved within you and what needs to be healed and changed. And by a trigger, I mean where there is a big emotion, a big reaction or wound that gets activated in you. And it rises up based on something or someone, right, has said or done. And when we're triggered, it's easy to get angry or upset and blame the trigger. And this is something or someone that's caused us to feel this way. Sorry, that's Astro in the background, he's howling. Okay, so does that make sense? So around the triggers, where we tend to blame the trigger, but when we do that, it's not the trigger, it's us. When we do that, we're missing the opportunity to heal. And so what I want you to see, what is triggered in you right now, what is rising up, whatever reaction, whatever story, whatever emotion, it already existed within you. That person or situation did not create it or make you feel that way. They simply activated something within you that was already there. Your body wants to detox, it wants to heal, and it doesn't want to hold on to this stuff anymore. So if you've got an unprocessed emotion, this old pain and wounds, this is what's consuming so much energy and space and keeping you trapped in the past and not living in your power. Okay, so if you're calling in and manifesting a person or a situation to play a particular role in your life, that's activating the thing within you so you can have it rise up out of the unconscious, buried and hidden, and come into your conscious mind so that you can be aware of it and resolve it and set yourself free. So, what's the matter? All right, Boo. So when we're stuck in the drama of blaming the person around what's happened, that's when we're trapped in the surface emotion and we can't fully heal. So just let me know if you're resonating with this, because I've had a few clients literally in this cycle and it's so deep they can't even see past it. They're so bent on never seeing it ending, right? So let me know if this is you. So this can show up in a relationship or from a past relationship, as an example, that's not yet resolved. So that's one way to know. I'm just giving you examples now. So that's one way to know. It's in the triggers. They're not small emotions. They are big emotions. It's almost like you're overreacting and you can't control it. Okay? So there's an unconscious pattern or core wound within you that is overtaking you in the moment. You default to being a child almost. So that's the story. You're wounded inner child that's overtaking you in that moment. So another way to know if you're looping in any area of your life. So if you're looping around the same patterns, you're unable to resolve them. And then you end up keep manifesting the same results at the same level and you can't seem to break past that next level. So you're hitting an energetic ceiling. So it might be income, it might be something around that, okay? So you might manifest the same situations, the same amount of money, the same kind of relationship, the same level of progression in your career, your business, maybe health issues, okay? It might be something around the business, but just take a moment to reflect on what's happening for you, okay? Another way to identify where the healing needs to happen is to see those places where you've really tried to change those things consciously. You've tried to fix it, you've tried to change it, you've tried to do everything and you can't seem to make the change. So it's almost like old habits die hard. You're using will and motivation and it's not working. So if that's you, there's a deeper pattern around it that may be linked to a feeling of control there. So when you dig deeper, you'll understand why you can't make the change you want. You can't change the behavior, which is surface level. You need to go beneath that. I'm going to open the door for him. I'll be back. Hang on a minute. Okay. Sorry, guys. He needed to go out. All right. So, what was I saying? You can't make the change you want by trying to fix it, yeah? You can't change the behavior, which is surface level. You need to go beneath that. So another thing you might want to do if you want to uncover any healing that needs to happen at this point, I want you to ask your body, your intuition, look at each area in your life, your relationship, your body, your home, your business, your work, your health, whatever that is for you. And I want you to ask yourself this question. Do I feel there is any healing that needs to happen in this area of my life? Do I feel there is any healing that needs to happen in this particular area of my life? Just pose the question and listen. And if so, what might that be? What might need to be healed here? What might need resolution? Where do I feel that something is unconsciously holding me back or blocking me? Okay, so really just listen and trust yourself. What might it be? And you can meditate, you can sit with this, you can journal this out, and I would do this especially as we're in midway, just to really assess where you're at. Okay, so we need to embark on our healing journey. This is not stopping. This is what we need to do from here. So we're always facing new levels of healing. So every time I've done this work and uncovered something and released it, I have reclaimed so much power, so much next level stuff. So this stuff that is actually unresolved is what is keeping you stuck. It's keeping you miserable. It's keeping you small. It's keeping you from going to your next level. And you think, oh no, but that's got nothing to do with this, but it does. It's got everything to do with what's going on. And that is what is withholding you from the very things that you want and deserve. So as hard as this can be, I want to invite you to lean in, make the most of the opportunity to do this work and being with me in this session now, because I think this will kind of trigger what you need to look at. I'm going to give you a couple of starting points now, and you can get the mid-year reflections in yourself going, okay? So these points are for self-reflections. At any point, what you're uncovering, if you feel it's too big or too challenging to do on your own, don't push yourself, just reach out for support. And sometimes when we ask these questions, we can open to big things that we're not even aware of. Okay? So a couple of things I want to mention is that healing does not mean you're broken. It does not imply that anything is wrong with you. Sometimes we begin to play the story when we witness these things in ourselves that need our healing attention. And we think that that's what's going on. But what I want you to do is reframe this as part of your expansion. It's part of your elevation. It's part of your next level. It's a part of your return to your wholeness and who you're meant to be, okay? Who you're here to be. So healing is about letting go of what you're ready to release. So it can be transmuted, and that's part of our human experience. This is what layers of our programming, patterning, emotions, our stories. That's all. There is no judgment around any of that. And the moment that we do that, it creates such an opening, a softening, an integration within us and all parts of us, including our story that we keep denying, yet somehow deepen the patterns that we're stuck with. Does that make sense? So just let me know. Hit the comments and let me know if this is resonating with you. So what I'm going to do is offer you things now, something to reflect on. So deep breath, okay? And first of all, we're going to dive into awareness, because it always starts with awareness. You know, when it comes to healing, it always begins with that. So what is the symptom? What's playing out on a surface level? What's manifesting externally that is showing you some type of healing that needs to happen? So let's identify that and just let me know what's coming up. What is the thing that feels that there is a problem here? Maybe it's not enough money. Maybe it's something that isn't what you want or isn't feeling good. So let me know. And I want you to look in your inner world and explore this. What are your thoughts? What are your beliefs? What is happening around this? And for those of you who have done EAP or the story with me, I want you to see where that might be relating to your story as well. So what are the stories that you've created around this? What have you made this mean you can or cannot do? What's the feelings that are coming up around it? And you'll notice when you unpack that, there'll be negative feelings or some looping story around it. And I would love to hear this in the comments so I can support you to move through. So please do. And don't be hard on yourself. Don't blame yourself. We're just using this as clues to understand what's going on. If there is a pattern that's running, not all of them are, but if this particular one is, I want you to unpack that pattern for you. So this is a strategy you run. This is a pattern you have installed. And all of our strategies meet a certain need. And this is the interesting thing. Even if the pattern is something we don't want, on some level, it meets some type of need for us. And maybe it's to keep us safe. Maybe it's to avoid meeting intimacy. Maybe it's, it allows us to stay alone. Maybe it's there to protect us. Maybe it's there, generally those are the common things. Maybe it wants success for you. There's always a deeper purpose, a benefit, an unconscious payoff around these patterns that we run. And if you want to go deeper, the Freeing Your Inner Critic mentoring session we did on Wednesday, that's there for you to take yourself through this process, guys, okay? But you might want to explore this a bit. So what triggers this pattern to start? How do you know that it's time, right, to release this pattern? What goes off inside you? I'm just going to wait a couple of moments to see if we've got any comments. But what you need to understand is all of those things that fire off in you won't fire off in another person. So you're personally running a pattern around this particular issue that others don't run. And that's interesting to look at because it brings in more awareness of why we do what we do. And so you're not a victim in this. Something fires up inside of you that actually creates this pattern. Cool? So now you want to go in a bit deeper and we want to look at the emotions around this. So what emotion is tied to this pattern? What emotion do you have that links to this? What emotions are present there? And the moment you start identifying the emotions, I want you to ask what else, and what else, and what else. And I want you to unpack it layer by layer. And if you like, you can close your eyes and you can feel into your body and feel into where your body, you're holding this emotion. Where in your body you're feeling this emotion. And it's often commonly the throat, the chest, or the gut area. Those are the common places. And it's around suspending this and really dropping in and feeling it. So if it's anger, really breathing into that. Because when you breathe deeper and you dig deeper, you'll discover that it may be sadness and powerlessness that sits beneath that. And if you go deeper, you may discover there is a feeling of unsafety. So we're getting to the core of why things are there, where that's leading to. Okay? So the deeper you go into the emotion, you're going to discover the hidden gems that are there for you. So when do you remember feeling that emotion? That's the next question. When do you remember feeling that emotion? And this may be tricky because we're trying to get it to the earliest time that this happened. And you will see that it has nothing to do with the current situation, but this memory that is playing out and that is running what's happening right now. And so as you do this, I want you to see the memories that arise, because when you identify the memory and you reconnect with that, you can ask yourself, when you see an event, what did you make it mean about you? So go back to that time. What did you make that event mean about you? You put a meaning on this event. And it may be that it's not safe to be you. It may be I need to be in control, or I'm safe when I'm alone and I can't trust others. So whatever that is, these are just examples just to help trigger your own. What did you make that event mean about you? And most of the time, your own personal story, you will your own personal story, right, around it. Your own personal story is actually tied to it. You'll see it and you can ask, how does this relate to my story? So from here, I would love for you to revisit that part of yourself and meet that need. Okay, that emotional need, which is commonly needing to be seen, to be met, to be heard, to be embraced, to be loved, to feel safe. So it's about securing the insecurity directly inside of you and then reconnecting with that part of you, and you can bring that child on your lap and revisit that event with her or with him. And you as an adult, you're redirecting that mothering or that reparenting to that part of you. So you can ask that child, what learnings can you take from this experience that will make you stronger in the long run? So go back there, put that child on your lap and really go into the experience of it. So what can you learn that will make you stronger? What is this event here to teach me? What if this experience wasn't meant to break you, but to help you in some way? There's always learnings and lessons. And you don't have to run patterns of control to feel safe. And most of it will be coming from the feelings and the need to feel safe. That's essentially what I found. Okay? And if safety is a big thing for you, you need to really do some nervous system work and redefine what safety is, what safety really means. And you can move through the process quite quickly. And you can revisit this video anytime you need to, okay? But this is a process I guide myself through, ongoing, does not stop. I don't just do it once and it's done. That's not how it works, right? When I feel things coming up or they feel unresolved, I go there. So we're being invited now to dig deeper and resolve the things that have been holding us back for way too long. And I want you to trust what is coming up for you is ready to be released. Believe in your ability to do this. You can do it. Work through some of these questions I've just given you. Reach out to one another for support if you need that extra boost. But life gives us what we ask for. We are ready to expand and grow, to call in new levels of abundance, of peace, of freedom, of joy. And so this is what we're going through. We're going through a clearing out of our bodies, of our energy, of our unconscious, anything that is out of alignment with that has kept us stuck and wounded for way too long. So if you found this helpful and nourishing and supportive, let me know. Send me a comment, a DM. Let me know your takeaway from this session. But we are in a power window of this eclipse energy going on right now, and everything is calling us to expand in the most brilliant of ways. And we're heading toward the first, and I think the third, is it the third or the fifth? I don't even know. I have to ask Carla. We're heading toward I think it's the third and last eclipse of this season. And the pressure that is building up this week can feel quite monumental. So it's just smashing those old barriers, those old systems, those old ways of being to create the new. So I want you to see reality for what it is. I want you to see reality past your old conditioning, past your old beliefs. I want you to see things as they are, yeah? Not as you are. So we're in the final, we're always shifting, don't get me wrong. It's not like this is it, but we're in the last stages of big shifting, monumental shifting, right? The big internal work that is making us stronger, and that will help us expand out to the world around us. Okay, so please keep trusting the process. We're coming into the second half of the year now, and if you've done the work, and I really do hope you've done the work, with clear awareness, sitting in the truth of your true self, the external shifting and changing, you're going to be more than okay through it. So if your inner foundations are good, you're going to be fine, no matter what is happening around us. We have worked through your stuff, and you just need to trust life and the process and let it unfold. Okay? So July is going to be next level, and I'm only saying this for your awareness, okay? It's not for fear, but this is what will feel transformational. All the work we've done, it's not going to rock our boats if we stay in our center and in our truth. So big alignment is coming up, and if you're not in a safe financial position, I'm going to talk about that for a moment, please get yourself in a safe financial position, because this is going to change big time, okay? If you're having problems with money or around money, do the work. Get yourself safe, become resourceful, claim your resourcefulness, look after your internal world, your internal work, look after your finances, look after your world, your bubble, and the outside world will change, and you'll be fine no matter what happens, okay? You being balanced, you being in your center, just look after your world, look after you. Okay, that's all I want to say. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope this has supported you, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Bye for now.